Hello and welcome. Right, the chaos will continue this evening for as long as we have got time for. We are going to be making a display. We carried on with this. This is actually carrying on from what we did last time. We did the Daily Bugle. We did obviously the Avengers Tower, and I have put in the the Statue of Liberty, in the far corner, because you can't see it because the loop roller coaster is in the way. All of this is going to be moving. All the bits and pieces behind are going to be moving. We need to get a row of modulars in. We need to get the Ghostbusters Firehouse in. We need to figure out what's going to go behind the Daily Bugle. How far am I going to move over at the Joker Manor? And so on and so forth. So we've got quite a lot to get on with. I've got some modulars at the ready. I've got the cinema here. We've got the detectives office if we're going to use them. We've got the diner to think of. We've got the Doctor Strange to think of. Basically, I'm going to try and give myself as much table displays as possible. Enough table space as possible to create new displays further on. So all of this is the medieval stuff. This is going to stay as is. Behind me is where we've now decided to put all the taller stuff for the Marvel coming over. These two modulars that are directly behind me aren't going to be staying there, so we need to figure out what's going to happen with that. All the base plates are going to go down, and then we're basically going to figure it out and go from there. Now, of course, it's a poll running as always. So with regards to the poll, we have got, what theme would you like to see for a rebuild series? Now, I've got lots of older sets from like 97, all that kind of thing. We've got Rock Raiders, Adventure, the Polar Explorer, which is the old stuff. Or if you don't like any of them, just click something else. And if I've got anything else, we'll do a different poll with regards to that kind of thing. Everybody that has liked the video so far, thank you very much indeed. But I have got the full year of Rock Raiders. I think it was 97 or 98 that came out. So I've got all of those, all the old school adventures, 97, 98 again. So yeah, lots and lots of different bits and pieces. Got the day off work, living the dream with that. So if you got the day off work and you are bored, you can help me figure out what we're going to do with these little bits and pieces. Now, I know there's other people lurking in the background that are doing their own displays and things, but we have got all sorts of stuff to move. I've done my best to make a little bit of space because obviously it's a bit chaotic when you move bits and pieces. So Jay is currently building IKEA furniture, but all of this over a period of time needs to be rehomed. That is over 4 tables. And we have started to do this display just over here. And I've actually put the base plates and everything down on it. So that's all in. We've got the trees. Arkham is going to go right in the far corner. So that's going to look lovely. And then you can see I've moved the Statue of Liberty over there. But this loop coaster is just in the way. So the loop coaster will move and then we'll crack on from there. So everybody's taking part in the poll and like the video. Thank you very much indeed. So I will be reading out the bits and pieces with regards to who votes for what later on. But I'm going to tuck in to the row of modulars to start with. You guys and girls can let me know what you would like to see in that row. And then we'll just make it up and go from there. So I'm going to be basically walking around, moving around and doing all sorts of stuff. This is old school. So this is exactly what we used to do on the Instagram days, basically. So this is exactly what used to be done. And yeah, well, we might do a double. We might end up doing this. And then I might do a bit of research at 8 o'clock tonight with regards to other fun fair type sets. But the loop coaster is on the move. How many base plates over it's going to move, I don't know. So we've got to figure out that. Ideally, if we can finish with having a placement for the loop coaster, that would be fantastic. Because, of course, some of the base plates that I've done already have all the tiling down. So I'm going to have to obviously redo all of them. But I am putting the correct base plates down again. So that's fine. This is there or thereabouts okay. And the chain works now. The track doesn't work, but the chain works. So it was better than what it was. It's probably not going to be too good after this. Don't forget, I have got other roller coasters as well. I've got the space roller coaster, for example, which is kind of screaming at me to either rebuild it in a slightly different way and leave space. Whoa, that nearly fell off the table. Leave space. Oh, even new underwear. For the Star Trek. But yeah, if I can just slide this out the way, you still can't really see what's going on. So, Old Bricks, good afternoon to you. Lego King, good afternoon to you. Oddly, never a day for ninjas. Just finished filming 28 more Ninjago minifigures. The day of footage, nice. Season 2. Turn off the Ninja Editor. Well, that's it. You can only do what you can do, can't you? You can only do what you can do. That's it. I need to get IKEA tables for my birthday. So Lego King's birthday today. Happy birthday, Mr. Lego King. So what have you been up to on your birthday, sir? Because I got your voice note saying that you're going to go out for your birthday meal, and I didn't want to interrupt you in case you had already gone out. So if you haven't gone out yet, when are you going? Where are you going? And what is it you are going to be doing? I think we need to do a bit of a switcheroo, because this loop coaster is going to be in the way if I don't move this, because you can't see anything. That's the problem at the moment. I need your help. But if you can't see what's going on, that's going to be completely pointless. Now, I have moved this once already. It's so sketchy. So sketchy. We're safe. Oh, yeah. It lives to fight another day. So there you go. You can see the Statue of Liberty in that far corner now, which looks nice, I think. I think that looks okay, just like that. So yes, we have got a full run of stuff that we are going to try and do on this corner of the table. Now I'm thinking of starting with the bank, because I like that corner unit. And I thought, well, that would be a nice run. And obviously have the bank side on, so I can see the front door of the bank. And then we've got the soaps and studs. So it's just part of the display, and it's just going to go down like that. Then I was thinking of either leaving 32 studs and cracking and putting the Ghostbuster Firehouse in. So I would like to see the front of the Ghostbuster Firehouse. But if that blocks off the Avengers Tower, needing to go down one more and see what's what. So we need to create a line for modulars, really. Old Bricks, again, good afternoon to you. Hopefully you are well. Get your ideas in. Let me know what you would like to see, because I'm going to start on this front row, because that's the idea that we had last time. Then we're going to step up. I have base plated all underneath this and this. They're in the exact same place. And the only difference is that Statue of Liberty is back in now, and it's just got the tan base plates underneath. There is a 32 by 32 base plate just here. You can see it. That is going to leave that in case they do another big building this year. I don't think they will, but if they do, hopefully it should fit just behind the Avengers Tower facing forward, where the Stranger Things Upside Down house is. That will stay there for now because it won't get broken. That will then be pulled out and swapped with Arkham. And then I am going to put a modular behind the Daily Bugle. And then I've got to think of what I'm going to put up on that bit. So, Lego King says, going for a meal at 7:30. Oh, very nice. Oh, there we go. Well, happy birthday to you, sir. Yeah, hopefully everybody is good. Right, with regards to the poll, how many votes in are we for the poll? So 5 votes in for the poll at the moment. 40% for the Explorer, 20% for Rock Raider, 20% for Adventure, 20% for something else. Everybody that's liked the video, thank you very much indeed, because it helps with the algorithm. So, right, let's get some more of these grey base plates down. I will get the Ghostbuster Firehouse in next, because if I leave... Because the Ghostbuster Firehouse is base plate and a half. So if I left half a base plate and parked the car in front of it, because I want to give the stuff a bit more breathing space, so I can have a lot more walking around. So I don't want to eat too far into the table this way, because we've got space to go around to that way, because this city basically can go to the 8080. So that can literally go behind me, as you can see, and it can finish where the police station is. So I can have 2 base plates in front with a gap in the middle for a path to go down. That's going to move over ever so slightly. So I could have 1 there. That'll be 2. That's 3. And then, yeah, we can start to create some displays and things around that. So there's loads of space. I've got loads of space. I've got nearly 4 tables of space at the moment. Need 4 tables. Now we've rearranged it. Yeah, it's close to 4 tables, because there is loads of space on this table. There's a full table to my right. And obviously on the far left, we have got the dinosaur that needs a home. and the gardens. Now, potentially the gardens might have to come over in with the medieval stuff, and I might pull the castle out and have the castle on its own. Because what I'm thinking of doing is basically making each zone the same width as the Lord of the Rings eyeball base. So if it's say two base plates. So I have 2 base plates deep, full table length, which will be, I don't know, is that 10 base plates? So each display color would be then 10 base plates, and we can just theme it to the correct color as it goes down. Of course, it's just a good guide because we know that this loop coaster is massive. We know the eyeball's massive. You know what I've got in here now. You've got all of this stuff that needs to be rehomed. The eyeball and the haunted house. I think just seeing it like that is exactly how they're going to go together. I think a fiery, dark lava bit would work really well. So eyeball, haunted house, black base plates with orange lava dotted all over the place. That would be fantastic. Ryan, though, makes a very good point. If I cleared all the Lego stuff away, I would just have some lovely looking tables. But the problem is, Ryan, I've got a tendency to fall through the tables. That is the only problem. So we'll go for a full base plate of length on here. But I do need to get the Ghostbuster Firehouse out from behind the Harry Potter set. And I've moved some bits and pieces out of the way before we started, just so life would be a little bit easier. But if anything is going to smash, well, it's going to smash, basically. So that's always going to be the case. Mark, hello to you. Lego King says I need another attic. That's a good call. I don't know. I think it should be all right, Lego King, to be honest. I think it should be fine. There's 4, what we got here? Just on this side, there's 4 IKEA tables just here. And then IKEA table 5, 6, 7. That's technically 8, 9. I've got about 10, probably over 10 tables plus 1, 2, 3, 4 Kallaxes. So 10 tables and 4 Kallaxes of space. So I should be able to make it all fit. It's just actually putting it in properly, and it will look half decent. But I just need to slide and glide the Ghostbuster Firehouse out, and hopefully after that's out, everything else should either fall into place. And I don't know whether to go double deep on the modulars or block it off with the coaster, but this thing's so heavy. Right, there we go. Because I didn't know whether to leave a gap, put the coaster back in so it's stepped further forward, and the coaster and the carousel is the clear divide into a new land, because obviously we've got the Marvel DC stuff into Star Wars stuff, into the medieval stuff. So none of that is obviously Ninjago. The Ninjago stuff will be the other side of the coaster. So that'll work out to be okay. Now, the Ghostbuster Fire, I say this every time, the Ghostbuster Firehouse is double theming because, of course, the Ghostbuster Firehouse is the laser shooter in Dubai. You walk into it and it's a ride. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be the roller coasters on show. You don't have to have a roller coaster on show for it to look like a theme park. If you've been to the different theme parks around the world, the Daily Bugle looks like the Daily Bugle. That is another ride. It's just the theming on the side and the roller coasters on the inside of it, and yada, yada, yada. So, we just have to wait and see what happens with that. So that's what I want. I basically want something like that. I think this needs to be on show. I think that needs to be on show, but it doesn't block off. I don't think it blocks off too much, does it? So if I got half a base plate. Half a base plate. Yeah, so I put half a base plate of space from there. Custom tile that. So, hello, there. So that's the breathing space it's got. That doesn't block off the Avengers Tower at all, does it? No, that's absolutely fine. So that would be that's the next one. And then it's a case of what do we put behind it? That is the thing. What do we put behind this? And look at all these tables are ever so slightly twisted. I need to make sure that the base plates are on the actual table to start with. Does that work or not? Well, that's very true, Ryan. I suppose I could fit 2 Willy Wonkas on the tables if I sold anything else. I could do that. That's it's a possibility. It is a possibility. Because I don't really want to do it because I think it would eat up too much space, but I could start to put some other modulars in and do bits and pieces like that, but it kind of defeats the object. So I think I want a row of something. Don't forget, it's theme park setting is what I'm doing. So the police station, because it's pretty, it could go up this way. If I give 2 base plates to the Ghostbuster Firehouse and put the Ecto 1 in front of that, that would make a half decent display potentially. But again, get your ideas in. Let me know what you guys and girls think, because this all started from you lot. I had no intention of doing this the other day. Had a day off school from Mark. Well, you're living the dream with that, Mark, aren't you? So as long as you're well, otherwise then that's not fun. So Mark had a day off. Ryan about the tables. Lego King says never at it. Yeah, we'll wait. We'll see. But I don't know what modular am I not so much lose, but what modular would make sense going behind the Ghostbuster Firehouse? Do I put the Doctor Strange set there, or do I put the Doctor Strange set behind the Daily Bugle? Because I could put the diner behind the Daily Bugle, and that would fit, and potentially put another modular up top. So I've got space. If I didn't give that 16 studs and only gave it 8 studs, I might get another 2 modulars behind the thing, but I just don't know how much space this actually needs. So let's have a look. So we've got the Lego Ideas Ecto 1 ready to park. Would that? I think it would. That should fit. Yeah, you'd have that in there, wouldn't you? So that's what you need. You'd have that part. Well, it's either parked all the way out, or park it in the doors. If I park it in the doors like so, I can bring that further forward. Which looks better? Does it look better with space facing forward, or can I get away with coming in 8 studs? Probably get away with that, actually. I would think. Oh, it's so dirtily heavy. I have to move this and then actually get the other one in situ. It is so heavy. Right, you got my arm around this table. Let's just put. There we go. How many studs have we got? Because space is obviously at a premium. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 2 more. There you go. That's 8. 8 studs in now. That's your 16. Then should give me enough space on the back of the table for, wait, what do? Yeah, give me enough space on the back of the table for 2 modulars. But what 2 modulars do we put behind this facing forward? What do you guys and girls want to see? Because that's how that will go. Fantastic. That's it. Oh, nice. There you go. So you can see that. Goodbye to you, Mark. Take care. Right, with regards to the poll, we are close. 33% for Polar Explorer, 22% and 22% for What Raiders and Adventure, 22% for something else. Everybody's liked the video so far. Thank you very much indeed. Lego King says food from all over. Eat much Chinese. Oh, you can't go wrong with that then, can you? If you're going to be stuffing your face with that, Lego King, you are absolutely living the dream. So, right, there we go. I come back and Matt is talking to the walls. I know, exactly that. Mad. Absolutely mental. That's it. Enjoyed talking to myself, obviously. So, that is those up on that bit. You can go up on there. But no, I think that works like that. I think it's just quite nice to see a little bit of a gap at the front and then box the last 2 in the Palace of Water. Maybe it would. The good thing is because you can see the statue. Does it block the Statue of Liberty? You shouldn't. That's the only I can see it. I know you guys can't, but I can see it clear as day from here. That Statue of Liberty. So if I brought you over like that, you can easily see the Statue of Liberty. Look, so it's not blocked off. There's loads of breathing space for it. So I think that works really well in the corner. Which is that if obviously we push the Ghostbuster Firehouse back anymore, you don't see the entrance and you won't see the car, which is a little bit of a shame considering that's the best part of the set, I think. So yeah. All right, modulars are next. So what are the modulars going to be doing? Right. Well, I'm doing 2 modulars now, so what do I want in there? I could put the Doctor Strange there. Could put the Doctor Strange at the back facing forward, actually. I could create an L. Maybe. Just don't know how far over I am going to be coming. That is the problem. So what do I put all the way at the back down there? So we get that bit out of the way. What do I put right at the very, very back? Because I could have the Doctor Strange facing forward and then probably a corner unit at the back and then something behind that so it wraps around and that's where it stops. And then whatever else is in from there can step in. I'm just going to get some of them down and see what's what, I think. So let's get this, because this is the closest one. Let's see if I can get this in situ. Such a bizarre colour base plate, a brown base plate. It's an odd choice. That works, huh? That doesn't look too bad. If I can get another one in, I think I can. Just keep pushing the base plates off the actual table. That's anything. Right, that's that one. Right, corner unit. You might have, will it be the cinema? If it will fit. Put the cinema in and then go from there. Yeah, okay. So I've got more modulars in doing it this way. So we've got the cinema, which, let's be honest, it does look rather smart. But will that work? Before I even try and put the base plates down, will that fit? Oh, too tall. It will fit snug, but that one won't. Because this is now the problem I've got with the wood kicking in the wrong way. So now there's going to be tears because I can only put specific ones in that place. So I might have to turn this. Nope, it's exactly the same. It could go in at the end like that, but that's not going to work. What I need another modular that'll go in at the end, and I don't want to come because somebody gets theme park based. I don't know how far over I can come. I have got more modulars if required, but we're looking at a theme park front. Then I'm thinking maybe the Loop roller coaster next. I haven't got it. I don't own the Tudor Corner. I've got the garage. Because I know it sounds stupid, but the actual garages, like an actual garage, like the garage that they've got, is a toilet that they've got over there. Corner units that I've got left. Bank, cinema. Let me have a look. Or the garage. That's it. That's the only three I've got. I don't have the hotel, and I don't have the other one. I think it's going to have to be. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a corner unit, because we could just have one facing forward. It might just look nicer if it was a corner unit there, maybe. So I've got the diner and Doctor Strange. Because I can use the others elsewhere, so I can put the others in a different location. So that's not a problem. It's just where they go. That's the only thing. I'm not 100% sure. So let's see if I can get the garage in there, and if it would actually work as a corner. If it won't work as a corner, that's gonna suck. I've got the restaurant, the really pretty restaurant as well. So I don't know if this is going to be too tall or not. So there is another one. There's another one on its way. Another one on its way. No, Arkham's going to go right in the corner between. We've already made space for Arkham, so Arkham's going to go just behind the Daily Bugle and the Avengers Tower. So there's space for that already. So corner would look nicer. Yeah. I don't want to put the bank there. I've got this monstrosity. That height-wise might work. It's just an odd thing, isn't it? Because you've got to leave space around it. But as it's going to be foot traffic rather than vehicles, because it's not a road, it's a walking path to the theme park, this actually might work because the garage is literally the toilet. So there is a possibility that I could get this in. It's just a shame that this is just a fraction too tall. And it's only literally 2 bricks too high. Oh, I've knocked something off the police station. Didn't even know that. Oh dear. Right. Will that fit? Oh, you're joking. That doesn't fit either. I'm literally off by... I'll make it fit. Hang on. I'll retry that now because that's really stupid. Let me try. That look like. Yeah, you can still see the vehicle, little path. That's just really annoying. Really, really, really annoying. Right, can I get that to go back in there? Because will that now fit? If it doesn't, then I've got no choice but. No, nothing fell off. Not got no other choice but to be the garage. Because I'll leave either 16. I don't know whether to leave 16 studs or 8 studs as a thing. Probably 16. 8 was the path for a walk, but 16 would be good for a vehicle. Oh, fits. Just. Oh, that is snug. Don't break. There we go. Does that work or not? That work looks stupid. Is that facing the wrong way? You can see it though, can't you? You can see it sticking out. So it doesn't look too bad. But the question is that do I put another modular facing forward at the end, or do we just have a run of these and then everything else gets put back in the Kallax? So Ultrabrick says wrong way. Right, okay. Well, you'd have it going in backwards, would you, Ultrabricks, like that? You have it arse in? Because you haven't got many options, have you, for which way it can... to actually see the front. I don't know. It could go that way as well, but if you put it in that way, you wouldn't see the palace. We'll try it. Yeah, that doesn't work like that. That's just the wrong. That's just inside out, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing. Yeah, so, okay. Oh, I just caught the bit of green. Do not break off, because if that breaks off and goes underneath, I'm not going to be able to reach it. We've got our first bit of damage. Do not snap off. It's caught. Come on, gently. It's literally to the stud. Literally fits to the stud on that. So I've got to be so careful when that slides in. Let me just repair. Get that back underneath there. Slot that back down. Right, that's in. Spin that back round so we've got the palace facing forward again. So that means you can actually see it, which is fine. That is that location, like so. So that's the run. What do we put beside it? What do we put beside it, and how much breathing space do we give it? Thinking at the very, very end, it could be, I don't know. So I don't know if we just leave it 16 studs and then put the roller coaster back, or if we put one modular facing forward, then what's the next? What are they going to be? That's the thing. Because we've got space, we have got a little bit of space up top. So I'll mess around up top while you guys and girls are thinking what's going to happen over there. I'm going to move. I'm just going to. Oh, you can't see, can you? I'm going to move Arkham over to fit something behind it. I think I'm going to put the diner behind the Daily Bugle. I think that's where's that one's going to go. So I'm going to move it over by a full thing, and T-Rex can just. I've got stuff everywhere. That T-Rex can just rest itself on the table. Falls off the table, I'm in trouble, but should be absolutely splendid. All right, there we go. Perfect. Right, that's on. Right, so let's move this over by 32 studs, which means then that'll be ideal because that goes right to there. That's the best use of space for this. That can literally sit like so. That gives me 32 studs for something hidden behind the Daily Bugle. That's where the Joker Manor will go. And I can bring it back over. To be fair, I could actually bring it back over. I do not know where else it can go though. So if the coaster is going to have to move, it can move further down the table. But don't forget, it's a theme. Obviously, it's a theme park display, isn't it? So the red one blends in nicely with the Ninjago stuff. It's just I don't know because the Loop coasters should be the start of the city theming, or it will be themed to whatever goes in with it. If that makes sense. So if we're suddenly going to do theming for dragons or whatever else, and it'll go in with that. But I'm going to crawl back underneath and get the next modular. I have got other modulars obviously about, but let's get the diner. Oh, that one's gone for a jump. I've just put that T-Rex on the only spare bit of table I had, so you're now in the way. All right, you will go if you're fit without having to move, which you're not going to. Perfect. Right, that we can tuck in just there is where that's going to go, and then behind it we'll have Arkham with a bit of breathing space, and it'll be its own hidden display, which will be nice. So yeah, you've got that. So it's just a block off, so you can't get behind the Daily Bugle. So it's basically forcing people around, and then this can now come over. I reckon to about there. And that's probably where the end of the DC stuff's going to be. So that diner fits quite nicely behind that. So then we've got a base plate of nothing for display there. We've then got to figure out what and where something goes up at the top. Because I don't know, again, just use this one as an example. If we put another set there, for example, it hides the, obviously you can't see it, but I can see it absolutely fine. And then it just creates a thing around it. Now, I don't know if I need, hold on, I haven't got the corners for it. I don't know if the cinema would be better on there because it gives us that corner. Because we can't really put that on anywhere else, but we have got options for it. So Doctor Strange we need to think of next. And yeah, it's just allocating space for all of, I'll show you again, Cheeky Monkey. I know. He's gone for 80, bigger as well. He's gone for 18 inches and more. So Jay's had an enlargement, by the way. He's had surgery and he's now 18 inches in length. So it hits the water when he sits down. So you've got all of this that we need to figure out. So it's Loop Coaster Eyeball. The Dragon Harry Potter will probably just end up moving anyway. But the Loop Coaster in a line with the carousel is a block. So we can just put it here. We can put it 32 more studs down that way. Just need to figure out exactly what all that is about, and you guys and girls keep letting me know, because like I said, I didn't start this project. I'd make that very, very clear. This was not my idea whatsoever. You lot got bored the other day, and now I've moved the whole of the Marvel stuff around after I just tiled it over Christmas. So I've got to take all those flipping individual custom tile plates that I've done. While I'm whinging about that, I'm going to get the other eyeball from Doctor Strange and figure out what that looks like facing forwards. So I still can't believe Cheeky Monkey's bragging about Jay's manhood. That's outrageous, Cheeky Monkey. But yeah, as long as we can get a rough understanding of where the eyeball is going to go tonight and the Loop Coaster is going to go tonight. Later on, I'm going to do another 8 o'clock live stream, and we're just going to research the amusement park sets. I've got some more of them as well, and then figure out like a hybrid thing, because in my head I'm thinking we either have a street of modulars, so we either put another run in, which I don't think would look as clean, or we have them all facing forward and we do like squares around them, because again, it's a theme park, not a city. Then we have the Loop Coaster as the divide. Then the question is, do I put the Mountain Fortress castle next and leave space for the Lion Knight's castle and have a medieval display? And then the last section of the table is again, how many base plates is that actually? So it's 3, 4, 5. So it'd be, each display could be there or thereabouts 10 base plates. So, and I've got 4 tables. So there's potential to have the Haunted House and the Lord of the Rings eyeball at the end, and then behind it, this new roller coaster that's supposed to be coming out, which is this lava thing with the sorceress bit, because I've already made space in the far corner for the ice bit, and there's potential that the actual T-Rex could still fit there as well if need be. But yeah, so it's food for thought. But I will grab the Doctor Strange, have that facing forward, figure out if we do 2 base plates deep here of stuff, which I could literally just have them facing forward and staggered, which could potentially work. And then we've got a little bit of base plate. We've got a little bit of play with this bit at the top. And then, yeah, it's just actually getting the realms and the worlds all need to be sorted, really. That's the key thing. So I'm going to get the Doctor Strange set. Crawling underneath. Because I've still got... I've got the Natural History Museum and... I've got the Natural History Museum and the Assembly Square. but I think both of them might be too big. So they might have to stay underneath the Kallax. Then I would put the Batman symbol underneath that Kallax as well, which would then lead to obviously like a ride and an entrance underneath there. And I can put all the DC vehicles underneath there, but that's just not going to fit with this Marvel DC bit, but it is close to the Batman artwork. But this obviously, I suppose this is technically a corner unit, isn't it? So I could have put this in instead of the cinema. Thinking about it, completely forgot that this was one of those. I could have had it just like that. That might be a better option, but we'll see. Yeah, because this is pretty tasty. So obviously you've got the front on this one, you've got the eyeball on the side, and then you've got all the bits and pieces with the portal on the back. So I'm going to have to relocate some of those, I would imagine. But the question is will this work facing forward at the back? Do we have it? It can't, because it can't. I don't think it can go there really, because I could step them. So we have space around this one, then we step the next, and we step the next, and that'd be exactly 2 base plates deep. But it's just too close. That's just not gonna work. That's just not gonna work at all. That's all right. That's absolutely fine. It just looks awful from the back end. But I've got a big gap in between the buildings. But yeah, I don't know. So let's put this to the back. Don't really think this is actually going to work at the back. No. So that's at the back. It's too. I don't think that works. Huh? Maybe we put the Doctor Strange up by the Daily Bugle. Let's just quickly do that. So I did that. I got the double side that I would want. And then all the buildings are close together. And that way I can still see the eyeball at the same time. So that doesn't look too bad like that. So that's the Doctor Strange. That's the Strange behind me. That works there, I think. Yeah, I've got to make custom roads. So I can either I had them 8 because I was doing footpaths, because it's a theme park, not a road, isn't it? So I was doing custom 8 stud wide walkways all the way down. So it would be 8 studs off. So it would be like, just use this for an example. So it would be, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that'd be where the next one would start. So it's a big gap, because you've got the path that will go all the way around and through, and you can obviously do that for a couple on the way down. So I could just step the next few staggered off from the other ones, and then that'll be the gap. If I do 16 studs, then we're looking at 2.5 base plates deep. So it's either an 8 stud walkway, which worked well as a path, but it's not quite big enough for the vehicles. Or we do 16, so we come in half a base plate, which will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was right. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. So we have half a base plate of breathing space, which would give us that amount. And with that amount of breathing space, I think we could get away with quite a few of them facing forward. And I could zigzag them as well, because don't forget, it doesn't have to be a perfect thing. So I can have it stepped in, stepped out, stepped in, stepped out, so you can see them. But I'd have 16 by 6. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it would be that. That's what it would be. So it would be that much. So what you're seeing now is the space you would have in front of this and then down the side of it. So it's 16 by 16. And then I would probably have the coaster next, I think. So the coaster would be just off in a straight line all the way as a divide on the table, because that is already nearly, that would be then a full table in length. That's if I need this down like this. That's the thing. It depends if I'm going to add more modulars in or not. But Doctor Strange, the Doctor Strange up on this bit looks absolutely fine. And then we've got a little bit of wiggle room. But yeah, Arkham will go in there. Dinah's in. Yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 in. I've already picked up 2 more. So there's 2 base plates that weren't in the display last already. Good evening, 4321. Well, I've got all the different coloured base plates that can go there. So it doesn't necessarily, it could be anything. It's just a different land if we want to. It doesn't have to be more modulars. It could be anything there. It could be, this could be the next realm, the next world, the next whatever. If you guys and girls don't think the coaster is going to work there, we could put something else in, but the coaster will have to go in before we get to the Lord of the Rings. So the coaster will have to start basically from here, and it will just go all the way down. So that's, yeah, we have got options with it, because I don't know what. Also, I put the correct color base plates down, but we've got the restaurant that we can put down. We've got other stuff that we can use. Because if I put more modulars in here, all it would do is obviously free up more space for the Kallax and other little bits and pieces like that. Because, well, you could have 2 back to back and a gap, and then 2 more back to back. You know, it doesn't really make too much of a difference, because this is going to be where the coaster will go, so it'll block those off. So that's where you would be when I build the different bits and pieces, basically. So that's what you would see so far. So it's either we keep the police station there, and then I add in the nice restaurant and add in the other little bits and pieces, or we add something else. So I don't know. I've got all the correct color base plates to go down. But yeah, we could put anything in, because I've got the space on the floor underneath. Yeah. So there's space on the floor for the Star Wars, obviously. Now, we have got the haunted house, which again is on a 32 by 32, I think. I would like that close to the eyeball, but that is another taller thing. So, really I think that should actually go with its own bit. But on this, what's still left on this table is you've got the Lord of the Rings eyeball, the haunted house, Jurassic Park gates. We've got the big T-Rex. Because that's another thing. We could just put the big T-Rex in a straight line if we wanted to, and just put different color base plates down. So the T-Rex could literally start here, and that would just step back. So I could push that T-Rex further back, and it would just be in a straight, a little bit odd, obviously. But I've got the big boned T-Rex. But yeah, we've got all these big sets to try and try and figure out and get in. That's the thing. So yeah, we've got some thinking and relocating to do. But of course, if I'm adding more of these modulars in, I don't know if I'm going to be able to put the castle and stuff over this way. Whereas these just get taken up, they go back underneath the Kallax, and then we start fresh from here. So I don't know whether to start at the other end of the table and then meet in the middle, because I could move the eyeball and things over next and just get that. Yeah, well, that's it. It's just an outdoor. Well, again, you got to think everything's a theme park perspective. You got to just imagine what would you see on a park map when you went into each area of a walking. The whole display is supposed to be one big theme park. So there's all going to be different paths down. It's all color coded with paths and base plates, and it'll just all flow. So it all goes round. So we've got all the different realms from Ninjago up to a point, and then we'll just have to figure it out from there, because like I said, we've got Rivendell, D&D, we've got the train going through that in the Shire, we've got the borough behind it, and then we've got the Star Wars sort of museum-y piece and all that kind of nonsense at the same time. But yeah, we could literally it has to either be the coaster that goes here next, or something like the T-Rex, and then we can get the other big sets in, see what we've got for space, and then maybe spread them out after, because we've still got quite a lot of big stuff to put in. Because if we can come out by another base plate and a half with these, then obviously we could easily do that, and then it would free up more Kallax display space for other Ninjago displays within. But like this, for example, this little Ferris wheel, this would work up and around, and we've got other things where it can live and go, and just needs to have some breathing space around it. So I'm going to put these modulars out of the way so they don't get damaged. And then we'll see. So I'll put the T-Rex up. I'll put the loop coaster back in first, because it's right beside me. See what it looks like. And if not, it'll have to be the T-Rex if you want the T-Rex on show. And if there's going to be another one, and then we'd leave literally 16 studs for a city, and the base plate color just changes. So that's exactly how it works in normal theme parks. It doesn't have to. It just tells a story as you walk around, doesn't it? That's what we need from it. But up top, that's fine. 32 base plate studs, 32 studs of display space for paths, space for that can just live upon that bit, so that's okay. And then we've got 3 more base plates around Doctor Strange for anything. So that looks quite nice, actually, because that, if you think about it, this bit you can't even see, can you? This bit is one display. So you've got from the Joker Manor, you've got this bit all the way over. That's just one display, and then 16 stud gap, and it goes into a completely different type of display. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Shibo, John, good evening to you both. Ideas welcome with regards to what we try and put in next with regards to a different theme. I'm going to try and get the eyeball in. I'm going to put the loop coaster in next, see what the space is like, figure out if the loop coaster can be the start or the end of the actual city theming, and then it goes into the next zone. If we've got enough space, we can potentially go double deep on these, but we'll have to wait and see. And then, of course, everything at the top is now on base plates and it's in kinda. So we've got a lot of display space. There's Arkham. We've left space for another Marvel big building if it ever happens. And the Apocalypse Burg has been put up and in. So they're all in to a point. So that is your Marvel DC display just there. So there's quite a bit of space, and then we leave 16 studs, and then we start the next display. Well, you could do, John. That might be quite helpful, to be honest. Obviously, I can chop and change the modulars that are on show if needs be. But yeah, I've got the police station, the garage. I could go too deep, but the carousel and the loop coaster just happens to be the. I think the loop coaster and the carousel is 1 point something meters, and two of these tables are 1 point. They're 60 each, aren't they? So it's 120. So it should just fit. Is that shelf undersized, or is in between the green and the blue? Yeah, it is indeed. It's in between the green and the blue. Right. Just going to make a bit of space so I don't break anything, and then we'll move on to the next bit. All good, sexy fun. And of course, it's not going to get tiled for a while, so we can see what it looks like. If we don't like it, we can move it. It will easily be moved. It's not a problem. The police station might need to come back up, because I think that's quite an important modular, but we'll worry about that because I don't know if I should swap. To be fair, I could swap the police station with the detective's office. But we'll wait and see what happens for that one. I can change that at a later date, but the Natural History Museum and the Assembly Square will have to stay underneath this bit. And again, I have got the restaurant, so all of those can either go in a Kallax display or they come on a table display, and we just make the Marvel DC section bigger. So until we spread out, that's why I don't know. So until we spread out the rest of the stuff, I don't know if we've got space for another base plate and a half. Because if we have, then we could do it. So no Ultra Bricks. That T-Rex is over a meter long. So no, there's no way, because if you put the T-Rex there, you wouldn't fit anything at all. Yeah, John. Yeah, that's it. I've got the table space. It's the ceiling height. That's the problem I've got, because it's slightly. You can see again with the Death Star, it curves exactly the same as the roof. So the far end is just a nightmare. If this roof was flat, it'd be fine, but it's not. So I've got a lot of table space. But the big stuff can only go in certain places, and then it affects everything else. And you're just like, oh, for God's sake, it's going to hit the roof. It snaps off. This does, that does. And it's just a right roll pain in the ass, really. So, but yeah, I have to keep, at the moment, because you're set up on that table, I'm having to crawl underneath the table to put these modulars back. But it's all good fun, John. All good fun. And I've got a loft hatch to contend with as well, so I don't fall down the loft and break my neck. But here's a T-Rex. This thing's huge. I'll put that back over for your Ultra Bricks just so you can see. If I can wrap the tail around the back of it, we could do a hybrid thing where something might happen. But let's have a look. Again, this thing is monstrous, isn't it? Hang on. So that would quite happily, it would go there, but I just think if it went here, it's going to swallow everything. If I can wiggle the tail around, it might fit by the skin of its teeth. There, it goes in. If If the shelf with the Avengers Tower is all the way to the wall, I see the Death Star is covering that. Yeah, so you've got basically the orange is one section where the shelf is. And then the green, there's no shelf. The yellow is a different section. And then the blue on the other side is a different section as well. But you can see the like triangle shapes. So the orange is where the one shelf is, basically. Oh, that's exciting. Because we could, in all fairness, do something crazy with the T-Rex and make some sort of diorama up with it. If it was on the correct kind of base plates, it could be an outdoor display because you have these pop-up outdoor display things, don't you? So that's it. It looks busy, but there's actually quite a lot of space because this has got three. There's nothing behind this for a base plate. Obviously, there's nothing here. Technically, after the eyeball, we could have like an army thing going on. So we could do something stupid, like having the T-Rex just on that bit, and it's not overhanging. It's not going to get damaged. But I just need to put the other grey base plates down. So it's not on the correct, obviously, it's not on the correct colour base plates, but there is an option. There is an option. So, what is going on with? There's one. Two. So the blue one out, and then put some more grey ones down. And in Legoland America, they did do a Legoland dinosaur attacking the city, and it is in the display. So yeah, you got options where it can go. It could also go side on, just like that. Because I could build the city around the T-Rex. One cabinet built, one more to go. So yeah, it's all slowly coming together. But I'll get the whatever we do here is going to go on grey base plates anyway. So I'll get the next couple of base plates down so it doesn't go wrong. So yeah, we've got another base plate. You've got two base plates of space just on that section just there. So yeah, we got the options. Yeah, we've got the options. I need to move the eyeball down, I think. That's what I'm going to do. Well, yeah. Was there a dinosaur in the multiverse? I have no idea. I know there was at Legoland California. They did a T-Rex takeover. But the dinosaur needs a home. So I made it perfectly clear when you guys and girls started to move these Daily Bugle and Avengers Tower. We had a problem with the T-Rex, problem with the eyeball, and a problem with the loop roller coaster. And now this is what's going to happen. They're going to be like, where do they go? So yeah, we've got to figure something out because my plan was to put it underneath the table, but apparently it looks too good and it needs to be up top. So because we could easily make a display around it, you could have it coming to life. You could do it with whatever else. They do that in all sorts of the cartoons and stuff, don't they? Where the thing starts coming back. Oh, yes, yeah. There's a Apocalypse is in the corner. Yeah. There we go. So they did it in Doctor Who. So yeah, they did some sort of weird and wonderful stuff. Oh, you want to? Is that what you're after, Shibo? Hang on. Yeah. So it's up there. Look, your Apocalypse berg's there. So again, there's loads of breathing space because there's nothing there. So yeah, you've got plenty of diorama space to be made up. It's just making sure that you leave the base, leave the space. But when the T-Rex is nearly a meter long and the loop coaster is nearly a meter tall, I mean, we could easily do that. We could leave it there and just have it beside it, and we can make a little display behind it and a little display in front of it, and then it's in its own section. Oh, the 12th Doctor. See, I've never watched it, John. Never watched Doctor Who. I'm sure Jay's a massive Doctor Who fan, but I've never watched it. So we're going to have a T-Rex as a statue then. Is that's basically what we're going to be aiming for. So from a theme park feel, yeah. I'm not going to lie, actually. If I bring you back up, depending on, because we could theme the loop coaster as T-Rex stuff, but that's what it looks like from there. So that is what the big T-Rex looks like, and that is what the rest of the stuff that's in looks like so far. What coloured base plates do you want the T-Rex on to split it up? If we're gonna do like a, because if you think like the modulars and the Ghostbuster thing is the start or the end of a land, isn't it? So we're saying that the T-Rex is going to be its own standalone thing. Do you want that on its own separate coloured base plate? Do you want it on green? Because we've got a lot of grey down already. Killian, good afternoon to you, sir. Hopefully you are good. Killian's on a delay. I've crawled under this table now probably 300 times. It hurts. Going Rock Raiders. How do you want? I'll be operating in around 30 seconds. I have got the museum, John. I have got the museum. So there's... I've got the possibility, if we think it looks all right there, to put the museum at the end facing this way, and the T-Rex will be directly in front of it. Oh, that would never, ever fit there, Shibo. The Death Star would never fit where the no. The Death Star is huge. It's 3 base plates tall. It would never fit in front of that green triangle. But I would say, because this thing with a bit of breathing space either side of it is about a base plate. So if we had the History Museum at the back and we had this in front, there's a possibility that that could work. Yeah, oh yeah, we've got all of this will be, so we'll add in all of those. I've got tons, like loads of little things that we can add in after, like little giveaways, like the sushi restaurants. I've got stuff to theme it, and obviously we'll populate it all after. Because I threw this medieval one together, didn't I? Just very quickly. I threw this medieval one quickly. So there's one shelf there. So for Shibo, get my head out of the way. There's one shelf that's white just at the top, and that's where the Star Wars stuff is. Potentially, the X-Men mansion would fit up on that. So that's there, but in the corner, that the Death Star wouldn't fit there. So the Death Star, because that Death Star is Mahusiv, but this is the medieval side of stuff. So we've got the train track that's going. So this is on a track. This actually is on a track, and the track will go through. So you can see you've got that going through. That's the plan for that. So if we think, where am I stood? If we think, let me get it's so hard on a laptop. The museum would go at the end facing forward. And then the next thing from that would then have to be another land. Because I know it's really difficult to think about it, but you have to think of it from you're walking around a theme park and you've got a park map. When you walk around the theme park, the base plate color changes, so you know you're in a different area. the colouring changes and the theming changes. So that's exactly what I'm trying to create all the way around this room. Right, everybody likes a museum idea. John, well done. Everybody well done on that, because that's exactly, it's all it needs. It just takes one person to go, why don't you try this? Fine, that's absolutely fine. I can, if there's enough space, or sorry, yeah, if there is enough space, I can leave space for the other dinosaur to go beside it, which is due out later this year. So I'll grab the museum, we'll get that placed, and then we will leave. We've got to be strict to a point with it, because obviously I can't leave like 32 studs of space. If I put the loop coaster next, you can see through the loop coaster, so you'd still be able to see the T-Rex. I don't want to block that off, because I think that would just be a massive shame. So if the loop coaster goes where my hand is now, all the way across, and the carousel goes behind it, the carousel should box in with the Natural History Museum. If the next dinosaur is a big one like this, I can push the loop coaster across by another 32 base plates, and it will fit in. So Ultrabricks likes the museum idea, John likes the museum idea, Jay, Toys Collection UK, if the T-Rex is staying there, it 100% needs a museum behind it. To be fair, actually quite like it there. I think it looks really smart. And obviously in person, I've got a full 32 base plate of space there, and I have got underneath the tail at least two more. Before though, I'm going to grab the laptop. I'm going to walk round to the other side. Should I put the police station where the detective's office is, or use the police station elsewhere? Ashiba says, if you took away the Avengers Town, the Apocalypseburg, and the slice wouldn't fit in that space. Yeah, but if I did that, you wouldn't be able to fit both of those on the white shelf, because the ceiling height's too much of an angle. I'm not too sure. I don't know what the price of it is, John. But potentially it could fit that way, couldn't it? Maybe if it's going to be a smaller one, I could just push this one back. Because obviously we've got a base plate forward, but I think because this thing's deceiving, because the actual floor space it takes up, like the studdage, is just over a base plate, but the whole thing is about 1 meter long, but it's high. So I mean, you know, the bottom of that jaw, that's 32 studs, so it's a tall thing. Oh, there's a big one coming. So the John's looking at a smaller one, and there is a bigger one coming as well. So yes, there's potential then that we could leave like a skeleton type thing around the middle, which would have to be on either, do we say sand or green? If I'm grabbing the museum, I need to show you the other one, because I've got a couple of other T-Rexes, but there's no point using them. So I can just put because I've got the Jurassic Park gates. They'll go in a completely different zone. Or potentially I put the gates close to this loop coaster, and we theme this coaster becomes a T-Rex thing. And this is the Velociraptor coaster in Florida. She says you can keep the Avengers and the Daily on the same shelf and move the short sets to the upper shelf. They just will not. I haven't got the ceiling height, Shibo. Honestly, it's if I put the Death Star behind the Avengers Tower, it would just hit the ceiling. It wouldn't fit there. And if I moved everything over, everything would then have to move, because at the moment, obviously, I've got the Death Star going in with the AT-AT, and then it drops down to the floor. So it literally just fits up there, because it's 3 bays. It's such a steep roof. So it's like I can't put modulars either edge of that shelf, because the roof is too sharp. So I lose so much. We've tried it before. We just lose loads and loads and loads of space. Right, hang on. What do I need to? I need to show you. I need to show you this. That's what I need to do. Do I need in that gap? What if I dropped you? That'd be expensive. Do I need the police station beside the cinema, or do I keep the detective's office? What would look better? So you guys and girls can let me know on that one, and I'll grab the Natural History Museum is going in now. Natural History Museum is going in. I will send you some photos, Shivo, so you can see just how tight it actually is, because the shelf itself, it pinches really badly, Right, Natural History Museum then. Of course, it would be rude not to add that in, wouldn't it? So we can add that little monstrosity in just there. Right. And I've got the restaurant, don't forget. But they can be added in back in this Kallax. I can make a separate display elsewhere, so that's not a problem. Yeah, so I've got the police station, the restaurant, a couple of townhouses, and Assembly Square. I'll be honest, looking at this now, I don't think I ever finished it. No, I haven't. It's a 3/4 done display. Well, that's not very good. Right, well, this will have to be repaired because one of the cats has taken the whole top of this set off. Like I said, this has just been stuck in the back for months. I've not looked at this for ages. And I'm like, well, why is half of this missing? Oh, it's fallen through. The trees have come off. That's one thing. We'll place it and get it in. But the whole top has decided to come off. So I need to crawl through 2 Kallaxes to get the rest of that. I will do that later if it fits. If it doesn't fit, then obviously it can just go back and I can grab it when I put the set back. So. Well, that's it. I could just sell the slice. That'll be it. So the Death Slice will not fit where Apocalypse Berg is, and the Apocalypse is on a different table anyway. If I then move these forward, this one and this one wouldn't fit on the shelf. The Joker wouldn't fit on the shelf, and this, because it looks deceiving, but this would have to start a base plate and a half in. So I've really only got 3 base plates of space on the middle of that shelf. Basically, the rest of it has to be tiny sets. So I understand what you're saying, but it's just the shelf just isn't. It's just not good enough. Shivo, just not good enough. Right, this is one history museum. Can I slide the museum in? So you wonder why my stuff is broke. This is how I move it. I've got no choice. So I've done this for years, doing this kind of thing. We just move everything and then it'll get fixed when it gets fixed. So expect some rebuild series is coming, because some of this stuff is absolutely battered now. Especially this is. Right, one Natural History Museum on its way. Right, it's going in. It's going in. Right, that is there or thereabouts in. The tail, God, this thing's so long. So the tail is massive. So that is what that looks like with the Natural History Museum. That work? Also got to finish it and repair it and fix it, but we can do that the weekend. So that can be fixed up and repaired, but that's where it'll go. And then you've got all of those bits and pieces around it. The only thing is now it's stepping out an extra. It should be okay. It should be okay. So we'll have a. What color do we do it though? Because that could literally, I could have a base plate and a half of width of just minifigures and stuff. So a base plate and a half off from the Natural History Museum will be for the next skeleton. And then I think if I put the carousel next to the History Museum and put the loop coaster in with 2 tables gone. Yeah, so it'll all be pathed around and everybody will be looking and shopping and put some benches and all that kind of stuff down. No, I can't move, can it? I think the problem with the Death Star is very deceiving. It is absolutely monstrous. It's 3 base plates wide, 3 base plates tall, and it literally fits there to the inch. And it's the best thing to go up on there. So yeah, Jay's seen it in person, Shibo. So it is an absolute swine. We've come up with so many different good ideas for it. And yeah, it's just a right royal pain in the ass. But that's what that looks like. So I will put the carousel beside the Natural History Museum, the loop coaster in front of the carousel, and then this bit will be extra space for whatever the new one will be. But we have to come up with either it's all grey and it's outdoor, or we put it all on grass and it's green just to mix it up. So just need to think, because I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to. So we will have almost 3 themes on, because it's too big. It's because the tables go that way, so they're 1 meter wide, these tables. So it's 2 1 meter tables by 60 depth. To it like the movie. Just blow it up. Very true. Just depending on what movie we're talking about, John. Oh, the actual Death Star. Yeah, just drop it. At least it's actually complete. So I do have the Barracuda Bay, Shibo. I do have the Barracuda Bay. Yeah. Hello there, Roaming Bricks. How are we? Good evening to you. Hopefully you are well. Let's check the poll. Everybody's liked the video so far. Thank you very much indeed. Right, with regards to the poll, 16 votes in, 31% for Polar Explorer, 31% for something else. No love for the Rock Raiders or the Avenger. Almost bedtime, yes. So all the way over India way you are, aren't you? So yeah, it's time's getting on over there with the time difference. That's for sure. Right, going back up, Jay said, so Jurassic on green, and then loop, the Pokemon on green, and the other side of the loop to merge thing. Maybe. Has anybody, right, I know this is, has anybody seen the actual size of that Pikachu? The thing is monstrous. There's a video of it going around from the Lego store in Billund. I know they're all on display already. They've got them on display early. They always do that. Obviously not available to buy, but they're on display. It is shit. I said to you, it's a base plate and a half big, but it is massive. It's like, good grief. It's not up here, Shibo. So just let us know. I've got it. If you've got any idea what to do with it, then please do let me know. But yeah, I have got it. So you got all of this. It just wraps all the way around. You've got 10 tables, I think, and a couple of Kallaxes of stuff. So there's just toys up here, basically. So Twiz. Right. Okay. Right, green then. Going green. That's handy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because don't forget, I've got that big gardens, haven't I? I've got 2 base plates of gardens, which possibly might have to go over on this side, because I found a home for it and then you guys moved it. So you're fully responsible. Every single one of you in this live stream is fully responsible for this flipping gardens not having a space, because the gardens actually might go side on next to the T-Rex at the moment. It actually might fit there. Because you've got the History Museum, the gardens, this big thing. I could just put it in there for now, and then I know that it's used for other stuff. Because it's going to be a big garden thing. Can't really put the Jurassic Park gates in there because I think that's a bit rough. Yeah, this all kicked off on when did it kick off? Monday? What are we today? With Wednesday. I think it was Monday night. Just randomly, everybody started to move all the stuff. I was like, all right, I'll just go with it. Just go with it. Why not? Crack on. I will crack on. See what we're at. See what we're doing. So we are going to be 2 base plates by 5, I do believe. Okay. Oh, yes. Did not want to do that. Did that look all right on green? That look better? Well, that's it. I didn't come up with this. I'll just show you my angle from this so you guys and girls can see. So that's what I'm starting to do. So it'll be about that wide, 2 base plates wide, yeah, of the green. Obviously you've got the space in front, another jobby just beside it, Natural History Museum behind it. And then we'll have to go loop coaster carousel. And then, we've got the other half of the 2 tables then to crack on with and do. So I don't think we're going to get the other half of these tables done until tomorrow, but at least if I can get to the point of the loop coaster being the divide, then tomorrow we can figure out all the other little bits and pieces, because that's the stuff that you won't see. So at least you can design it, take part in it, and do it. Let me just grab some more green base plates. Isn't it lucky I've got all these base plates just lying around, not doing anything? Does the T-Rex fit on the museum? No. It does not, Gillian. That T-Rex does not fit on the museum, I'm afraid. Right, that is that. Right, that is those in and down, in and down, done and done. Right, that's all green. There you go. So that is your doing, everybody. That's what you've just done. So then we can just figure out stuff as we go. So I can just leave that as space. Leave that as space for now. I'll repair and sort out and do the Natural History Museum. I don't know where the actual part of the roof's gone. It must have fallen through on the back. But yeah, we can literally now box this in with the next section as such. The Harry Potter is not getting binned off. It's just been moved. The Jurassic Park gates go underneath. And then we've got, I'm hoping we should have close, it'll just be going into the next table, this bit. So this bit here, just there is where the coaster is going to start. Yeah, so I'll leave it to the outer edge, because we'll hopefully have another one going beside it. So I've left the space. We've got 2 base plates of whatever we want at the front, and then we've got a nice display type area. And don't get it's theme park based, so that will work well. So now we just need to go on to the next section, which will be no choice but the coaster and the carousel as the divide. And then from there, it'll be all dark, black, mythical stuff with the haunted house and the Lord of the Rings eyeball. And then we can start pulling out any of the other sets that are doing nothing or something or anything like that. And I suppose I now actually have space for the X-Men jet as well. Right, I need to bend over and say and get this bit over. I don't know where I can reach this from, because can I push this over enough? I think I might be able to get this in. Right, so that'll be on that bit. Right, so I've got to move a lot of stuff now. So I need to get the next, I need to shunt basically a load of stuff down, is what I need to do. That's what I need to do. I need to shunt a load of stuff down. So we're now looking the opposite way. Oh, I'm just trying to eyeball how many base plates of space we might actually have left. So, did not want to do that. So Jurassic Park gates can go. Oh, they're not going to fit. They can go up there for now. That'll be relocated. Yeah, I've got loads and loads of these base plates down. It's the eyeball I need to move. Because don't forget, I had literally just tiled all of these base plates together with all these individual studs, haven't I? Nobody thought about that when they told me they want all of those bits and pieces moved. So every single one of these base plates, I'm going to need to rip back up and cry. So there'll be literally a live stream of me taking apart each one of those now, because I've got no need for them on this bit. If I can reuse it up at the top, and obviously I will do. Let's get this out of the way before I break my neck on this. Right, that modular is safe and sound in there. Car, Potter, Big Figs, eyeball. I need the eyeball safe. And to grab the eyeball, I have to stand. I'm over the loft hatch now, by the way. So if I slip and I go flying through, you know the rules and regulations. Jay's already claimed the Ghostbuster Firehouse for my demise. So if anybody else wants anything, I'm sure if anybody ever finds this live stream, because it's documented, it's first come, first serve. First come, first serve. Do not hit the ceiling. Do not break the base. Do not fall off. Do not be a misery to my life. Right, that should be enough. Should be moved over enough. Stuck. Help me, I'm stuck. Did it all by myself. Have a look. Yeah, I've got the gardens, Shibo. I have got the gardens. With that green grass and T-Rex, I could. I love tiles off base plates. Yeah, honestly, I spent hours and hours customizing all of this. Look, all individual pieces for all of my Marvel DC display. And in the space of 5 minutes, you decided to go, no, not anymore, and moved it. So clearly, instead, I've already claimed Ninjago and Star Wars stuff. There we go. So that's all the stuff behind on that bit, and then you've got the that bit. From over here, it looks very, very impressive, actually. Stood up. Like, what's been done so far. It does look pretty smart. So, yeah, it's not bad. That needs to be rejigged now because of how I designed that for future expansion, and we've eaten into the expansion. So, again, food for thought, that castle, does it go over to the ice section over on this side behind me? Or do we do a full-blown display with it, or do something different with it? So yeah, you're gonna have to let me know with that. But let's get the coaster in, and then we'll see what the gardens look like if the gardens fit. The gardens would go there, but then I don't know what would work with regards to another thing. So I've got all the different characters and all the different minifigures. Yeah. That's it. So we're getting there. We're getting there slowly. And of course, I've got all of the construction crews that I'll be doing all the different bits and pieces with. I will be placing all the minifigures back at some point because obviously they've all been ripped out and pulled out and whatever else. So they will just get rehomed where they need to go. So what colour is this loop coaster going on? Are we saying green all the way through? Is that what I read in the comments before? Or are we changing colour? And that's a very, very dark, deep black, that one. So that looks really nice for evil stuff. So that'll work. Haunted house is now in the way. Fantastic. Where can I put the haunted house? Haunted house. Which again needs basically this needs a full strip down and a rebuild because this is wrecked. Because I've moved this so many times, like now, and every time I go to move it, it's such an awkward size. There we go. Just stay there. Right, let's put this in, and then you guys can let me know what colour base plate you think it would work on. It could work on green. It could work on blue. It could work on anything, really. That's not good. I didn't want to do that, did I? And that's the little balloon bike gone. But no, we can put little restaurants in. I might have some 3-in-1 creator foodie places as well. But later on, 8 o'clock, I'll go live again and we'll research all the amusement park stuff. And then we'll see what's what. But that will fit just there, like so. So that is what that looks like. And then again, depending on how we want the track, that's where the track goes. So it's deep, isn't it? It's a big thing. So we could have that as the divide, and then that's, you can still see everything there. Look, so it's not blocking it off. So, but it can be moved over the other way if required, because this isn't quite a base plate deep. So if we wanted it in line with the base plate, it would be, say, get back on. There we go. It would be there, I would say. So now we've got 4 base plates of greenery with nothing on it. So that's the divide for the next thing. Ultrabricks isn't happy. Ultrabricks doesn't like it. So that's it. So you've got bit on bit on bit. After the eyeball goes down a full table. go that way. Which way can I go? That way? Well, that's everything that's been done so far. I can have the loop facing that way. So it would have to go. Well, that way. Shibo says, add it to John's list. So we're making a theme park display, but Shibo says, take the roller coaster away from the... take the whole point of a display away by taking apart the biggest... It's so tall. Yeah, that's it. You got all the diorama-y little bits and pieces will happen once the sets have been placed. So, because if this spun that way, it would be doesn't fit. So the problem I've got is if it goes that way round, hits the roof, and it's not on the table at the bottom. So I haven't got quite enough in. It does look better that way because it would be like that. So it's in its own land. Oh, it'd be easier if I hold it that way, wouldn't it? So it'd be like that. But I either need to chisel away at the ceiling or do something. Because it'd be like that. So we can try and make it work basically, but I am off by 4 or 5 studs onto this table, and this table isn't a permanent table. So we'd have an overhang, which I can live with, but it is literally hitting the top. And that's how deceiving this roof is. But yeah, you can have it like, well, I know you're getting dizzy. I can't figure out which way to hold you. So, but now what we'd have, which is fine, is we have got a base plate of space here. So we have to put something here because we can't afford to lose 32 studs of space. So we can put all sorts of bits and pieces there if required. I can pull I could potentially, I don't know if it would actually fit, but I could pull the carousel forward and maybe put another modular beside the Natural History Museum. I don't know if that would fit. But we can make the loop, as it stands, we can make the loop coaster work this way. It just needs a little bit of tweaking. But yes, that's what it would look. That's what it would look like that way. Well, look, I can't really go. Oh, you want the big end, my end? I could try and stagger it. What about turning the 90 degrees further so the big end is furthest away from the museum? That's how it was. But obviously we've got the queue line, so the queue line's on one side or the other. So do you want the queue line inside the T-Rex or eyeball, basically? So the big end would be where Baron, well, it'd be inside out then. We could try it. But if that was the case, this, I think, would be all the way over here because it's really long, isn't it? So if we went that way, you would just be seeing the back of it. If that's the angle that you mean, and obviously then pushed further over. But doing that, it would eat into a lot more space. Yeah. So it has to, ideally, it has to be as we had it, and it's just got a little bit of an overhang, which is fine. That's not a problem. But yeah, it would have to be this way, like that, in a straight line. And then don't forget, again, because it's a theme park thing, it would be part of we could actually, because we would make a display on the coaster. So we've got options then of what it is you want to do. Jay said about Pokemon. Jay says also about the merge of the bits and pieces in there. So yeah, we can. We've got the entrance. The entrance to the ride is just where my finger is, so I can see all of that. No problem at all. So it's very, very detailed. You've seen it already, haven't you? But it's a very, very detailed thing, the front of this. So we can make it all up with the entrance and all those little bits and pieces, and then you'd have the eyeball behind it as a completely different land. But that is where we're at. But what coloured base plate do we put underneath the coaster? So, should we turn it in on it? If we turn it in like we are now, it's well, nothing gets blocked anyway. But yeah, it's all big open space. So we'll go green again. So I'll put another 4 green base plates down. 1, 2. 3. 3. And then 1 more, 4. I've got another green base. Oh, I have them. I've got another 3 green base plates over there, so that's fine. So I can reach those. Pull that away from the roof so I can actually get the plate underneath. That's how tight it is from the roof. So welcome to my problems of no ceiling height at all. I don't know if I can actually get these base plates underneath. I have to move this. I think I'm going to have to move it. I will hold it shaft and hope for the best, I think. Oh, balls. I've just broken a rib. Where did that come off? I've got 2 off. Oh, come on. This is up until that very moment. Oh, it's there. It's all right. Found it. I spun the rib cage around. We're okay. We're good. We're back together. It's okay. We're okay. Right, 1 more. 1 more green base plate. There it is. Got it. I'm glad I got all these base plates out already. That would be all right swine otherwise. All right, get that grey one out the way. Green base plate going down. That will go there-ish. That's we're 9 green in now. That's 9 green base plates down. Right, so that's basically where it could go for now. I just need to wiggle it with the base plates and stuff, but it's there or thereabouts. There or thereabouts in. I've just grabbed the whole shaft, Killian. That's basically it. I just grabbed a shaft of a roller coaster and hope for the best. Yeah, that's what you've missed. You've missed that. That's basically what you've missed. Have I got the space? Yeah, because I can put. To be fair, I can put a path in between the carousel and the coaster. So we are. I reckon. Well, I can see it with. How many studs are we over? And we're not many studs over either, by the way. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4 base plates by 4. And then I haven't base plated the back end because I need to crawl underneath and do that. But we can do the same thing again. We've got what we've just done. We have the same space again for. And at the moment, it's just the eyeball and the haunted house. So that's not bad. That's not bad going. So we've added in all these extra modulars. We've added in the T-Rex. And we have got 3 base plates of space around the Joker Manor in front. So we can do something. We need to work on that area just behind me where the haunted house is. We've got all of this space around here, which obviously is going to be another one of these. And then we can put all the paths and things down, little calves and all that kind of nonsense. I can connect the path from this side to this side and then put a path going down on the green or like little circular bits and they can just jump around. So that's where all the base plates can go. The question is now, and we'll think about it and do it tomorrow, is which way does the eyeball face compared to everything else? So, like I said, we have got the exact same 2 tables. So we can keep going now. So we've got 2 more tables. This is obviously the back of the coaster. So this has nothing to do with this section. But we've got this massive shaft that needs a home. I don't know whether to spin it in on itself. So it's because we had the Avengers Tower was facing inwards on the last bit. Over there, we've got the Jurassic Park gates, which will go down. The treehouse, more than likely, is going to get relocated down with the Jurassic Park gates, and we'll have the T-Rexes eating that because they normally go well together. The gardens now might need to be relocated, basically relocated to the medieval bit. So then that leaves us with, do we have 2 base plates of one color, 2 base plates of another? The other option we've got with the eyeball is that it carries on facing the same way as what it is. It goes to the end of the table. The haunted house goes in front. That's all black. Then we make another display behind the eyeball, which links into Ninjago. But then that still keeps us 2, 4, 5. That keeps us 8 base plates of space, potentially for either a space display or a medieval display. So that's the options that we have got. No, the eyeball, no, it wouldn't fit there because it would block everything else, wouldn't it? I would imagine I could try it, but Eyeball next to the Doctor Strange. Well, to be honest, because of its, I class the eyeball as the Lego movie, so it'd be close to the Joker Manor. Bear with me. 456. Can I translate? I can't. Oh, use AI to re-image the layout. Yeah, that's a bit boring though, isn't it? And they would never know the roof height either. They would never know the roof height. Let's try the eyeball there, see if it'll fit, and then we'll wrap things up. I'll get some food, and then we'll do a research for all the amusement park things, all the roller coastery things. I don't forget, I've got a space, because I've got a space roller coaster. I've got the big track space roller coaster as well. So I could recreate that as a drop tower. That can all be rebuilt. That's all in storage. So I've got other tracks that I can use. I've got like the alien truck with all the other little bits and pieces. It is, John. Yeah, it is a pain, but it's even harder here because of the angle of the roof. It's nuts. And the green bit might not look like it on camera, but it kicks in against. So obviously that's the bottom. It comes in on itself. So I lose a load of table space. It's just such a swine. Jay's done the second cabinet. Right, so the question has been asked, will the eyeball fit here? So we will just plonk that down and relocate this. This will have its home tomorrow. I don't know if it will, to be honest, because I think the base of that is far too big for it to fit. We can try, and it might fail miserably. And I don't know how to reach it, to be honest. Well done, Jay. Congratulations on your cabinet building. IKEA maker over there. But yes, like I said, we'll go live again in an hour from now and do a bit of research into the other little bits and pieces. I can already eyeball that, and I'm thinking, good Lord. I'd have to really angle the AT-AT over, though. I don't know. Let's have a look. I think you lot are just determined for me to drop something. I think that's what you're secretly hoping for. Because again, this shaft, it's heavy and it's horrible. It's beautiful though. Not gone well. Right, we'll try that again. I need a lot more table space than what I've just made for that, because this is so big. I think it's 2 base plates wide, isn't it, the bottom of this? I think. If you push the whole thing down, you could have a long row of diagonal alley, and then hidden behind the bank and the Ghostbusters. Well, yeah, but it's now not going to fit, is it? Because we've just put the T-Rex there. So if that got moved down that way, we'll have to see if we've got space. Because once everything else is in, because if the coaster goes down, if everything moves down by a base plate, then you just see we've got the space for it. If not, because if we add in, it depends what we're adding in next. Because we have got 8 more base plates that we can add in. So we could squeeze it behind. I've got the alleyway over there at the moment, but the alleyway is, they're 16 by 32, aren't they? So it'd be 32 as the alley all the way down. I did think that originally, but I think it's just going to eat in too much. But it'd be you're talking the alleyway between the Avengers Tower and the Ghostbusters Firehouse, aren't you? So this has bad news written all over it, but this is where we're going to end the stream, and then you can think about it. With the 8080 will have to angle. I'm going to give myself as much space as possible to put this in, but it is literally going to swallow that Joker Manor, and you are not going to see anything else, because this thing is huge. Right, that's down. How far can I push this behind the 8080? I hate moving these sets on base plates. Hate it. They always get stuck on these base plates and they all ping off. Don't like it. I don't like it. Right, try that again. Yeah, it is literally hitting the base plate because nothing is level, so I can't push. I can't pick it up either. Right, there we go. Not really. Is the answer to that question? Yeah, Brickable World. Hello. Yeah, so it would fit. It would move if it all went down a base plate, which then would meaning everything would have to be shunted with regards to because I'd just pick up this green and put it that way, and then just move the coaster down by one. But I don't know if it would give us enough space at the far end, and it would be. That'd be 3 base plates deep. So it would fit. It just depends if it gives us enough space for anything else after. So yeah, I don't know. But as it stands, it's the eyeball and the haunted house to rehome on the darker base plates over there, which we'll do tomorrow. We could try the alley and push it all down. Because that would free up that space up there. I'm definitely not mills everything. Not a chance. It wouldn't work anyway because the mills they're 32 by 32 studs, aren't they? And it's just all the wrong shapes for all the roller coaster stuff. It works great, I think, for everything else, but I don't think a mills would work with the red coaster and all the other little bits. And I don't have the money because it's far too expensive to do that. Far too expensive. But no, it would. I know what you mean. It would work. It would fit down there. It would just be hidden as well. But then if you did that, hang on. If you did that, then this would start. Basically, it would start there. That's where that would start. Because everything else would then shunt down by a base plate, wouldn't it? Because that would go. That would go to there, and then the alleyway would go behind it. Which, if I grab these, The problem is with doing that though, aren't they supposed to be doing something else to go with this? But we don't know if it's UCS scale or smaller. Ow! Just stood on something. That went there. That would go in there. That would go there. That's what it would look like. If you want it hidden, it would have to be pushed down. So it would look like that when it's all squared up. Nothing suspicious about that at all. No. So yeah, I mean that's where the bank would start if that's the case, and then everything just gets shunted down. So we've got hashtag bin potter because everything would just go down. Well, there's space. There is space to do it. There is space to do it. Or we have it, instead of an actual alleyway, you have it as one long length. Ah, happy days, John. That's all right then. You've got some more bits and pieces to do? I don't know. Because there might be just enough space to have them as a long line like that, and then you've just got a tiny tight alleyway just behind it instead. But that we'll have to mess around with. So we're gonna have to do it and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then obviously we just have to stop. So we could potentially have that. That would have been more helpful 2 hours ago. When I first started, rather than doing it right after I put all the coloured base plates down. But a good idea is a good idea. So we'll have to mess around with it tomorrow because I'm going to go live again at 8. I need to get some food and things, and then we can do a bit of research, prep, planning, and all those other little bits and pieces. But because I've got those 4 plus the bank. If we did that, we wouldn't be able to have a medieval display, I don't think. So, yeah, it's one or the other, I think, because if we had the Potter alleyway in, we wouldn't have the space for the medieval bit. I've got enough grape. I could actually, possibly, potentially throw them in quickly. Genius comes to those who wait. Yeah, after I'm about to stop is where you knew you should have said that earlier on, and I was thinking it earlier on as well. I don't think it will fit. Because we were talking about spacing out the modulars at the start. We didn't know what space we would have. But it would literally involve me moving everything down that I've already put in. Because I can't... I thought I could just cheat and move it. And I'd have to put the bank in first, wouldn't I? Is what I'd have to do. What's the easiest way of doing it? There isn't an easy way of doing it without me. They can't reach the Gringotts bank. So what are you thinking? Having them as an actual alley or having them singly? So what would you do? Do it as a proper alleyway, like that. Because if I place this one, if I place that in the correct place, this gap here, and it was in line with the Ghostbuster Firehouse, you could actually walk in front of the Ghostbuster Firehouse and get into the alleyway from side on. So you could make it as part of it, but you'd have to have it sort of stepped, because obviously that bit's quite a bigger bit. But because we're going to leave the studs in front of the Ghostbuster Firehouse to be able to do it, you could get in that way. That'd be three base plates. And then what would we put? I guess the question is what do we put behind the bank in the corner? Right, food for thought. We'll crack on with this tomorrow because I would have to do it in reverse order. I'm just trying to think the best way of doing it. Because if I did it, I'd have to pick up these the 4 green base plates. They go the other side of the coaster. The coaster then gets pushed onto those base plates, as does the carousel. That moves over. The base plates of space then go grey. All of that moves over. Keep the grey as it is. Start with Gringotts Bank 3 down, and then have the alleyway in front. If we then did that, that gives us 6 base plates of space. So, that would just give us 6 base plates of space left, I think. Because that's 4. So instead of it being 4 and 4, it would be 3 base plates wide. Sorry, it'd be 3 base plates by 9. So there'd be 9 base plates of space left. And that would be back to the eyeball, which is 2 base plates wide. Well, we got more than that. 3, 6, yeah, it'd be 9. Yeah, 9 base plates of space left, which means if we put the alleyway in, the Mountain Fortress couldn't move. So that it's one or the other. It's either Harry Potter Hidden Alleyway, or I've just crouched down on the haunted house. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah. All right. So I'll go and get some food. We'll go live again at 8 o'clock. So give me 40 minutes, and we'll research all the other amusement bits that Lego's done. I can show you the stuff that I've got, because then you guys and girls will know the sacrifice. Because if we put the alleyway in, we can't put space in, and we can't put medieval in. So it's one or the other. Right, guys, take it easy. I'll end the poll. Poll has ended. You can see the results for that. So we're 18 in. we'll carry on with this tomorrow evening, obviously, and I'll go live 40 minutes, 45 minutes. It'll be just after 8 o'clock. Latest, it'll be 8:30. So it all depends on how quick and what I shove in the oven, because that's going to take 20 minutes, isn't it? So, right, guys, catch you in a little bit. Take it easy, everybody. Bye, bye, bye.